Superintendent Dr. Kyla Johnson Trammell, Mayor Chef, and teachers rooted in Oakland for the platform, and all of you for joining us here today. I am Gustavo Ontiveros, or as my 9th grade algebra students call me, Mr. O. Currently, I'm an apprentice teacher working with Ms. Johanna Langio at Oakland Technical High School and working to earn my master's and teaching credential at UC Berkeley's Educators for Equity and Excellence graduate program. I was born and raised in Salinas, California by a single mother. After my father was deported, my mother, a field worker, worked tirelessly to support my brother and I. She worked 2 jobs and always ensured that my brother and I were present in school because she understood that education was our lifeline. My family and I struggled, but thankfully, I had educators around me who were willing to go beyond their job description to help meet my needs and those of my family. I had teachers who connected my family and I to resources from the district and city, teachers that helped pay for field trips out of their own pockets, teachers who waited in their classroom until 7 p.m. to meet with my mother for parent-teacher conferences. My teachers made a positive impact in my life, and for that I am grateful. The educators around me looked like me, and we shared similar experiences. Some had first-hand experiences that enabled them to better aid my family during these difficult times. I had teachers who were first-generation college students and teachers who also came from families that work in the fields. My biggest takeaway from the educators around me was that it is imperative for teachers to meet the students where they are at. Every day that I walk through the school doors, I remind myself that I must strive to meet students and families where they are. Throughout my K-12 education, my Latinx teachers inspired me and encouraged me to keep breaking through the barriers that were placed to keep me out of higher education. Growing up in an immigrant mixed-status household, I did not have access to adults with college degrees or people who knew how to navigate higher education. However, I found role models in my teachers like Mr. Oscar Ramos and Mr. Ramiro Mata. Mr. Mata was my algebra and calculus teacher. He is the most committed teacher I have ever met. To this day, he spends every weekend at McDonald's helping students who need support in math. My last 2 years of high school, I worked alongside Mr. Mata, helping to tutor my peers. As I worked with him, I realized that my dream job was to be a high school math teacher. In 2018, I received my bachelor's degree from UC Berkeley. A year later, I started working at Rosedale High School under an emergency teaching permit. Emergency teaching permits serve to fill in classrooms that do not have teachers due to the teacher shortage impacting California and specifically Oakland. I had an amazing experience working with Oakland Unified School District students, the Vice Principal, Ms. Cabrera, and Ms. Juan, my support teacher. After living in the Bay Area for over 7 years now and teaching in the district for 2 of those years, I know that OUSD is where I want to continue my career in education. I am extremely thankful for Zaya Vera, who introduced me to TRIO. Without TRIO, I would be living in a shared bedroom with little space for me to focus on my studies and on lesson planning for students. The inflated housing market, intertwined with the sky-high rental prices and the low pay for educators, pushes Black, Latino, and many other teachers out of Oakland. I would not be here without the support from TRIO. I have received financial support through subsidized housing. Without it, I would not be able to afford living in the Bay Area without having to take out thousands of dollars in loans. The cost of living is one of the largest hurdles for pre-service and in-service educators. However, thanks to the support I have received from TRIO, I am able to continue being Mr. O to my students. Again, I appreciate you all for listening to my story, and I would also like to thank Sam and Ricky for joining me here today. I would now like to bring up Rias, the property owner of this unit behind us, that thanks to the TRIO program, I have had the chance to live in.